Hymn 10.65-73, 15 verses. May Agni, Indra, Mitra, Varuna consent, Aryaman, Vayu, Pushan, and Sarasvati, Adityas, Marutas, Vishnu, Soma, lofty sky, Rudra and Aditya, and Brahmanaspati, Indra and Agni, hero lords, when Veritable dwelling together, speeding aimlessly on, and Soma blent with oil, putting his greatness forth, have with their power filled full the mighty firmament. Skilled in the law, I lift the hymn of praise to thee, law strengtheners, unassailed and great in majesty. These in their wondrous bounty send the watery sea. May they as kindly friends send gifts to make us great. They with their might have stayed heaven, earth, and Prithvi, the Lord of light, the firmament, the lustrous spheres, even as fleet-foot steeds who make their masters glad. The princely gods are praised, most bountiful to man. Bring gifts to Mitra and to Varuna, who, lords of all, in spirit never fail the worshipper, whose statute stands on high through everlasting law, whose places of sure refuge, are the heavens and earth. The cow, who yielding milk, goes her appointed way hither to us, as leader of holy rites, speaking aloud to Varuna and the worshipper, shall with oblation serve Vivasvat and the gods whose tongue is Agni, dwell in heaven and sit, aiders of law, reflecting in the seat of law. They propped up heaven, and then brought waters with their might, got sacrifice, and in a body made it fair. Born in the oldest time, the parents dwelling round are sharers of one mansion in the home of law. Bound by their common vow, Dyaus, Prithvi, stream forth the moisture rich in oil to Varuna the steer. Parjanya, Vata, mighty senders of the rain, Indra and Vayu, Varuna, Mitra, Aryaman, we call on Aditya, Adityas, and the gods, those who are on the earth, in waters, and in heaven. Vashtar and Vayu, those who count as Ribus, both celestial, Hotar priests, and dawn for happiness. Winners of wealth, we call, and wise Brihaspati, destroyer of our foes, and Soma, Indra's friend, they generated prayer, the cow, the horse, the plants, the forest trees, the earth, the waters, and the hills. These very bounteous gods made the sun mount to heaven, and spread the righteous laws of Aryas o'er the land. O Asvins, ye delivered Budju from distress, ye animated Syama, Vadramati's son. To Vimada he brought his consort Kamadyu, and gave his lost Vishnapu back to Vistaka. Thunder, the lightning's daughter. Aja Akapada, heaven's bearer. Sindhu, and the waters of the sea. Hear all the gods my words. Sarasvati, give ear together with Puranda and with holy thoughts. With holy thoughts and with Puranda, may all gods, knowing the law, immortal, Manu's holy ones, boon givers, favorers, finders of light in heaven, with gracious love accept my songs, my prayer, my hymn, immortal gods have I. Asishta lauded, God sent on high above all other beings, may they this day grant us wide space and freedom. Ye gods, preserve us evermore with blessings. And we're seeing this focus on what in the tarot card is that letter J, which represents the Yekyin pillar of the Solomonic Temple. Safa in Mecca, and of course the divine name in Arabic, saw her. In 1066, Vistadevas, 15 verses. I call the gods of lofty glory for our weal, the makers of the light, well skilled in sacrifice, those who have waxen mightily, masters of all wealth, immortal, strengthening law, the gods whom Indra leads. For the strong band of Marutas will we frame a hymn. The chiefs shall bring forth sacrifice for Indra's troop, who, sent by Indra and advised by Varuna, have gotten for themselves a share of Surya's light. May Indra with the Vasus keep our dwelling safe, and Aditya with Adityas lend us sure defense. May the god Rudra with the Rudras favor us, and Devashtar with the dames further us to success. Aditya, heaven and earth, the great eternal law, Indra, Vishnu, the Marutas, and the lofty sky. We call upon Adityas, on the gods for help, on the Vasus, Rudras, Savatar of wondrous deeds. With holy thoughts, Sarasvat, firm laud, Varuna, great Vayu, Pushan, Vishnu, and the Asvins twain, lords of all wealth, immortal, furtherers of prayer, grant us a triply guarding refuge from distress. Strong be the sacrifice, strong be the holy ones, strong the preparers of oblation, strong the gods, mighty be heaven and earth, true to eternal law, strong be Parjanya, strong be they who laud the strong. To win us strength I glorify the mighty twain, Agni and Soma. Mighty ones, whom many laud, may these vouchsafe us shelter with the triple guard, these whom the strong have served in worship of the gods, potent with firm fixed laws, arranging sacrifice, visiting solemn rites in splendor of the day. Obeying order, these whose priest is Agni, free from falsehood, poured the waters out when Vritra died. The holy ones engendered, for their several laws, the heaven and earth, the waters, the plants, and trees. They filled the firmament with heavenly light for help. The gods embodied wish, and made it beautiful. May they who bear up heaven, the Ribus, deft of hand, and Vata and Parjanya of the thundering bull, the waters and the plants promote the songs we sing. Come, Bhaja, Rate, and the Vajans to my call. Sindhu, the sea, the region and the firmament, the thunder and the ocean. Aja Akapada, the dragon of the deep, shall listen to my words, and all the deities and princes shall give ear. May we be yours, we men, to entertain the gods, further our sacrifice, and give it full success. Adityas, Rudras, Vasus, givers of good gifts, quicken with holy hymns, which we are singing now. I follow with success upon the path of law the two celestial Hotars, priest of all this time. We pray to him who dwelleth near, guard of the field, to all immortal gods, who never are remiss. Vashishta's sons have raised their voices like their sire, rich alike praying to the gods for happiness. Like friendly-minded kinsmen, come at our desire, O gods, and shake down treasures on us from above. Immortal gods have I, Vashishta, lauded, gods set on high above all other beings. May they this day grant us wide space and freedom, ye gods preserve us evermore with blessings. And we think of the whole material universe as the manifestation of the divine, the embodiment of the divine command. It's not quite the same thing as the incarnation of God or whatever, but it takes away. It gives context to any specific embodiment of a quality or name that is mentioned. Hymn 10.67, Brihaspati, 12 verses. Is holy hymn sublime and seven-headed, sprung from eternal law, our sire discovered. Yasya, friend of all men, hath engendered the fourth hymn as he sang his laud to Indra, thinking aright, praising eternal order, the sons of Dyaus, the Asura, those heroes. And Gerasis, holding the rank of sages, first honored sacrifice's holy statute, girt by his friends, who cried with swan-like voices, bursting with stony barriers of the prison. But Ahespates spake in thunder to the cattle, and uttered praise and song when he hath found them. Apart from one, away from the two above him, he drave the kine that stood in bonds of falsehood. But Ahespates, seeking light amid the darkness, drave forth the bright cows. 3 he made apparent when he had cleft the layers and western castle. He cut off 3 from him who held the waters. But Ahespates discovered, while he thundered like Dyaus, the dawn, the sun, the cow, the lightning. As with the hand, so with his roaring, Indra cleft Vala through, and guardian of the cattle, seeking the milk draught, with sweat-shining comrades, he stole the Panis's kine, and left him weeping. He, with bright faithful friends, winners of booty, hath rent the milker of the cows asunder. But Ahespates, with wild boars, strong and mighty, sweating with heat, hath gained a rich possession. They, longing for the kine, with faithful spirit, incited with their hymns the Lord of cattle. But Ahespates freed the radiant cows, with comrades self-yoked, averting shame from one another, in our assembly with auspicious praises, exalting him who roareth like a lion. May we in every fight where heroes conquer rejoice in strong Ahespates the victor. When he had won him every sort of booty and gone to heaven and its most lofty mansions, men praised Ahespates the mighty, bringing the light within their mouths from sundry places. Fulfill the prayer that begs for vital vigor. Aid in your wonted manner even the humble. Let all our foes be turned and driven backward. Hear this, O heaven and earth, ye all producers. Indra, with mighty strength, cleft asunder the head of Arbuda, the watery monster, slain Ahe, and set free the 7 rivers. O heavens and earth, with all the gods protect us. And so the plural and stuff is not necessarily saying that these entities aren't the light beings. It's that, they're bringing in the mention of the ones that they didn't mention by that. Hymn 10.68, Ahespates. Like birds who keep their watch, plashing in water, like the loud voices of the thundering rain cloud, like merry streamlets bursting from the mountain, thus to Ahespates our hymns have sounded. The son of Angarasis, meeting the cattle as Baga, brought in Aryaman among us. As friend of men, he decks the wife and husband. As for the race, Ahespates nerve our coursers. Ahespates, having won them from the mountains, strewn down like barley out of winnowing baskets, the vigorous wandering cows who aid the pious, desired of all a blameless form well colored, as the sun dews with meath the seat of order, and casts a flaming meteor down from heaven. So from the rock Ahespates forced the cattle, and cleft the earth's skin as it were with water. Forth from mid-air with light he drave the darkness, as the gale blows a lily from the river, like the wind grasping at the cloud of Vala. Ahespates gathered to himself the cattle. Ahespates, when he with fiery lightnings cleft through the weapon of reviling Vala, consumed him as tongues cat what teeth have compassed. He threw the prisons of the red cows open, that secret name borne by the lowing cattle within the cave. Ahespates discovered and drave himself the bright kine from the mountain, like a bird's young after the egg's disclosure. He looked around on rock imprisoned sweetness, as one who eyes a fish in scanty water. Ahespates, cleaving through with varied clamor, and brought it forth like a ball from out the timber. He found the light of heaven and fire and morning. With lucid rays he forced apart the darkness, as from a joint. Brihaspati took the marrow of Vala as he gloried in his cattle. As trees or foliage rotted by winter, Vala mourned for the cows Brihaspati had taken. He did a deed ne'er done, ne'er to be equalled, whereby the sun and moon ascend alternate. Like a dark steed adorned with pearl, the fathers have decorated heaven with constellations. They set the light in day, in night the darkness. Brihaspati cleft the rock and found the cattle. This homage have we offered to the cloud god who thunders out to many in succession. May this Brihaspati vouchsafe us fullness of life with kine and horses, men and heroes. And a belief that we see on every continent that humans have been on, right, is this idea that, heroes die and become the stars or something like that, or they go to a particular star. That's actually maybe more common as a mythological theme, but hymn 10.69, Agna, 12 verses. Auspicious is the aspect of Vadrayasva's fire. Auspicious is the aspect of Vadrayasva's fire. Good is its guidance. Pleasant are its visitings. When first the people of Sumitra kindle it, with butter poured thereon it crackles and shines bright. Butter is that which makes Vadrayasva's fire grow strong. The butter is its food, the butter makes it fat. It spreads abroad when butter hath been offered it, and balmed with streams of butter shines forth like the sun. Still newest is this face of thine, O Agni, which Manu and Sumitra have enkindled. So richly shine, accept our songs with favor, so give us strengthening food, so send us glory, accept this offering, Agni, whom aforetime Vadrayasva hath entreated and enkindled. Guard well our homes and people, guard our bodies, protect thy girt to us, which thou hast granted. Be splendid, guard us kinsmen of Vadrayasva, let not the enmity of men overcome thee. Like the bold hero Shavana, I, Sumitra, tell forth the title of Vadrayasva's kinsman. All treasures hast thou won, of plains and mountains, and quelled the Dasas's and Aryas's hatred. Like the bold hero Shavana, O Agni, mayest thou subdue the men who long for battle. Deft Agni hath a lengthened thread, tall oxen, 1,000 heifers, numberless devices, decked by the men, splendid among the splendid, shine brightly forth amid devout Sumitras. Thine is the teeming cow, O Vedas, who pours at once her ceaseless flow. Sabardhuk, thou art lit up by men, enriched with guerdon, O Agni, by the pious-souled Sumitras, even immortal gods, O Vedas. Vadrayasva's kinsmen have declared thy grandeur. When human tribes draw near with supplication, thou conquerest with men whom thou hadst strengthened. Like as a father bears his son, O Agni, Vadrayasva bear thee in his lap, and serve thee, thou youngest god, who hath enjoyed his fuel, didst vanquish those of old. Thou they were mighty. Vadrayasva's Agni evermore hath vanquished his foes with heroes who had pressed the Soma, Lord of bright rays, thou burntest up the battle, subduing as our help even mighty foemen. This Agni of Vadrayasva, Vritraslayer, lit from old, must be invoked with homage. As such assail our enemies, Vadrayasva, whether the foes be strangers or be kinsmen. Now, you don't look forward to the violence per se. You look forward to doing what is necessary and perhaps the reward of it. and you be ready for whatever category. But some things, the point is not to look forward. Oh, we gotta kill people. As much as self-defense and defense of others is a sacred duty. 10.70, a priest, 11 verses. Enjoy, O Agne, this my fuel. Welcome the oil-filled ladle where we pour libation. Rise up for worship of the gods, wise Agne, on the earth's height, while days are bright with beauty. May he who goes before the gods come hither with steeds whose shapes are varied. Narasamsa, may he most godlike speed our offered viands with homage. Godward on the path of order, men with oblations laud most constant Agne, and pray him to perform an envoy's duty. With lightly rolling car and best draught horses, bring the gods hither and sit down as Hotar. May the delight of gods spread out transversely, may it be with us long and length and fragrant. O holy grass divine, with friendly spirit, bring thou the willing gods, whose chief is Indra. Touch ye the far extending height of heaven, our spring apart to suit the wide earth's measure. Yearning ye, doors with those sublime in greatness, seize eagerly the heavenly car that cometh. Here in this shrine may dawn and night the daughters of heaven, the skilful goddesses, be seated. In your white lap, auspicious, willing ladies, may the gods seat them with a willing spirit. Up stands the stone, high burns the fire enkindled. Aditya's lap contains the friendly natures, ye two chief priests who serve at this our worship. May ye, more skilled, win for us rich possessions. On our wide grass 3 goddesses be seated. For you have we prepared and made it pleasant. May Illa, she whose foot drops oil, the goddess, taste manlike sacrifice and well-set presents. Since thou, God Vashtar, hast made beauty perfect, since thou hast been the Angarasis's companion, willing, most wealthy, giver of possessions, grant us the gods' assembly. Thou who knowest, well knowing, binding with thy cord, bring hither, Lord of the wood, the deities' assembly. The god prepare in season our oblations. May heaven and earth be gracious to my calling. Agni bring hither Varuna to help us. Indra from heaven, from air's mid-realm, the Marutas. On sacred grass all holy ones be seated, and let the immortal gods rejoice in Sabaha. And Ilba is the root for the Persian root for the word for the for something treated as a deity, and then into the Semitic languages. Hymn 10.71, Jhanam, 11 verses, and of course it relates, in Arabic you have Allah, the over, exalted. None. When men, did I say 11 verses? When men, Brahaspati, giving names to objects, sent out Vaks first, and earliest utterances, all that was excellent and spotless, treasured within them, was disclosed through their affection, where, like men cleansing cornflour in a cribble, the wise in spirit have created language. Friends see and recognize the marks of friendship. Their speech retains the blessed sign imprinted. With sacrifice the trace of Vak they followed, and found her harboring within the riches. They brought her, dealt her forth in many places. 7 singers make her tones resound in concert. One man hath ne'er seen Vak, and yet he seeth. One man hath hearing, but hath never heard her. But to another, hath she shown her beauty as a fond, well-dressed woman to her husband. One man they call a laggard, dull in friendship. They never urge him on to deeds of valor. He wanders on in profitless illusion. The voice he heard yields neither fruit nor blossom. No part in Vok hath he who hath abandoned his own dear friend, who knows the truth of friendship. Even if he hears her, still in vain he listens. Not knows he of the path of righteous action. Unequal in the quickness of their spirit are friends endowed alike with eyes and hearing. Some look like tanks that reach the mouth or shoulder, others like pools of water fit to bathe in. When friendly Brahmins sacrifice together with a mental impulse, which the heart hath fashioned, they leave one far behind through their attainments, and some who count as Brahmins wander elsewhere. Those men who step not back and move not forward, nor Brahmins, nor preparers of libations, having attended to Vok in sinful fashion, spin out their thread in ignorance like spinsters. All friends are joyful in the friend who cometh in triumph. Having conquered an assembly, his is their blame averter. Food provider, preparing is he, and fit for deeds of vigor. One plies his constant task, reciting verses. One sings the holy psalm in Sakvari measures. One more the Brahmin tells the lore of being, and one lays down the rules of sacrificing. And it's important sometimes to divide the tasks of teaching. And there's human language and there's divine language, and rather than thinking there's a superior language that humans use, the scripture, the actually revealed, is the best, and then the inspired, and then the religiously motivated. But we have in the previous program that I released in this series talking about making hymns, or was it? And yeah, we can come up with extra stuff, but we shouldn't do it in ignorance. We should do it in awareness of this spiritual presence that goes through us. Hymn 1072, The Gods, 9 verses. Let us with tuneful skill proclaim these generations of the gods, that one may see them when these hymns are chanted in a future age. These Brahmanaspata, produced with blast and smelting, like a smith, existence in an earlier age of gods from non-existence sprang. Existence in the earliest age of gods from non-existence sprang. Thereafter were the regions born. This sprang from the productive power. Earth sprang from the productive power. The regions from the earth were born. Daksha was born of Aditya, and Aditya was Daksha's child. For Aditya, O Daksha, she who is thy daughter, was brought forth. After her were the blessed gods born, sharers of immortal life. When ye, O gods, in yonder deep, close clasping one another stood, thence, as of dancers, from your feet a thickening cloud of dust arose. When, O ye gods, like Yatis, ye caused all existing things to grow, then ye brought Surya forward, who was lying hidden in the sea. 8 are the sons of Aditya, who from their bodies sprang to life. With 7 she went to meet the gods. She cast Martanda far away. So with her 7 sons Aditya went forth to meet the earlier age. She brought Martanda thitherward to spring to life and die again. Before we get into hymn 1073, Indra of, which is 11 verses, let us also remember the, you got the sons, and you got she. Okay, so 8 sons, and she forms the 8 that meets them. And as we saw elsewhere, there's existence and non-existence, the doing and the not doing. They all play this great role in the order. And we have this idea that it takes different reciters. maybe different styles of recitation, maybe different tones, maybe different people to express the same thing. There can be one prophet of the age, but the others were needed for their times and places too. Thou wast born mighty for vigorous valor, exulting, strongest, full of pride and courage. Even there, the Maruta strengthened Indra, men, his most rapid mother, stirred the hero. There with themes ways. In Presne was seated. With much laudation, they exalted Indra, as if encompassed by the mighty footed, from darkness near at hand, forth came the children. High are thy feet, when on thy way thou goest. The strength thou foundest here hath lent thee vigor. Thousand hyenas in thy mouth thou holdest. O Indra, mayest thou turn the aspens hither. Speeding at once to sacrifice, thou comest for friendship. Thou art bringing both the Satyas. Thou hadst 1,000 treasures in possession. The aspens, O thou hero, gave thee riches. Glad for the race that rests on holy order, with friends who hasten to their goal, hath Indra, with these, his magic powers, assailed the Dasu. He cast away the gloomy mists, the darknesses. Two of like name for him didst thou demolished. It's Indra striking down the car of Ushas. With thy beloved lofty friends thou camest, and with the assurance of thine heart thou slewest. War-loving the Vuche thou smotest, robbing the Dasa of his magic for the Risha. For the man thou madest ready pleasant pathways, paths leading, as it were, directly Godward. These names of thine thou hast fulfilled completely, as a lord thou boldest in thine arm. O Indra, in thee, through thy great might, the gods are joyful. The roots of trees hast thou directed upward. May the sweet summer juices make him happy to cast his quoit that lies in depth of waters. Thou from the udder which our earth is fastened, hast poured the milk into the kine and herbage. When others call him offspring of the courser, my meaning is that mighty power produced him. He came from Manyu and remained in houses. Whence he hath sprung is known to Indra only. Like birds of beauteous wing, the Briganethas, riches imploring, have come nigh to Indra. Dispel the darkness and fill full our vision. Deliver us as men whom snares entangle. And of course, deity can do this all on its own, but creation serves its purpose by joining in the throng